Well, hey there, you're on the internet, I have some free time, and welcome to the Triple N Network, where all you newbie nib nerds can find all the news you'll need. Let's look at an ink today, shall we? Now, today's ink is by Diamine, which I have both in the 30 milliliter plastic bottle and in cartridges. Teal. Now, all the tests were done in this Quaco or Queco Ice Sport with a medium nib. Let's check out the chromatography. Now, I tested both the bottle and the cartridge, and while my camera is having some issue negotiating the colors all up in here, it's actually not that far off. This is a very bright green up at the top and a very vibrant light blue above that. But what's interesting is there's this like weird band of brown under it. And under that is a dark blue and then a slightly lighter blue. And as you can see, they're the same. The only difference is since this one was longer, I let it sit in the water just a second longer, so that's why it traveled more. But anyways, let's compare it to some other Diamine blues. As you can see, teal is much more green than, anything on here. In fact, I'd say that it's much greener than blue. So, yeah. Starting from the top down in density, Clairefontaine 90 grams per square meter. 8 seconds to dry, which really isn't too bad considering this is, a medium nib. Flow was right in the middle, not too wet, not too dry. The shading is nice, but like I feel like it's because it's kind of thin in parts, but yeah, as I said just now, I definitely think it leans more towards green, and just like we saw in the chromatography test, whatever's green about it washes away because that is distinctly blue. So that's kind of interesting. But it's also not terribly water resistant, so what's there is kind of there, but it's not all there. I dyed the paper just a bit, but... Next is Rhodia 80 grams per square meter, where it definitely looks green. I mean, it's a greenish blue, or a bluish green, or something in there. 3 seconds to dry, which is a huge improvement over 8. But no bleed feather spread, flow is still good. Said echo shouldn't be an issue. I mean, that's like the hardest part of the scrub, so. But yeah. Again, water test is blue. And it's kind of there. It's not all there, but it's kind of there, Next is Tomoe River paper, or Tomoe River paper. I'm still not entirely sure on that. But, yeah, definitely greener. But, yeah, so you get halo sheen in parts. I wonder if I can get this on camera. It's around this heavy scrubby. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get it. But, I tried. Trust me, it's there. Yeah, you have to lay it on really heavy to get the sheen. But no bleed feather spread. For Tomoe River, that's fairly clear. But it's also fairly blue, which I still think is pretty interesting. Echo might be an issue in the hardest scrubby parts. But, yep. Next is a newer version of 20-pound copier paper, which tragically is not much better than the old newer copy paper. But, yeah, dried almost instantly. Here it definitely is like a blue-green or a green-blue. I said not much bleed feather spread, which is nice, but there is some. And just like on the chromatography paper, we can see that bright green kind of fuzzing out from the blue, which I think is kind of interesting. But yeah, see, not so bad. You get like a couple of dots here and there, but not too terrible. And that's bright green, so that's kind of cool. But anyways, next is Mead notebook paper, where it got kind of woolly and kind of flat, and yeah, there's bleed feather spread, but like I said, it could be worse. Yeah, that's kind of ugly. But, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, maybe in a fine nib or an extra fine nib, maybe there'd be no bleed at all, so. And Moleskine notebook paper, where it definitely starts to look pretty darn green, if you ask me. And for some reason it took 6 seconds to dry. But you kind of get shading. I mean, if you look at shading, you've got bits of it in there. And there's bleed, feather, and spread, and but you kind of have to look for it. It's not as bad as it usually is. And it could be worse. We've seen much, much worse. And again, really not a lot of bleeding. You get like the odd dot here and there, and I mean the water test, but that's not bad. I mean, for a medium nib, could be much worse. So there you go, that's Diamine Teal, which I really don't know if it's a blue-green or a green-blue, but it's definitely not blue, so yeah. For your consideration from the Triple N Network, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Bye.